Hey guys, it's Lee in a fishbowl. How are y'all? I know it's been a few weeks and I kind of left everybody hanging with my whole IUI. Kind of built up and had a couple of IUI updates and then nothing, and I apologize for that. Things got very hectic and there's no excuse. I apologize. For those who don't follow me on Facebook, you may still be in the dark, but I'm sure you assume by now, by not hearing from me, that the IUI was a bust. So let me go back and kind of just refresh for those who were on Facebook and kind of followed what happened, but those who didn't, just kind of a little refresher and bring you up to date. So I want to do this as quickly as possible, but yeah, so I had the IUI after having 4 follicles that were all very mature. Was very hopeful, and unfortunately I got a negative. Never got a positive pregnancy test, and I tested out the trigger and it just it disappeared, and that was the end of that. So I was very disappointed. I mean, I wasn't depressed, but I was upset and disappointed because I felt like finally I had some hope when I actually had follicles. And if you remember, I probably had follicles in my spring IUIs that got canceled, but because the ultrasounds were not being done to see them on me, they needed to do them abdominally, if you remember. There's just no telling, but it was so refreshing to finally have some hope in that last cycle. So I took a few days and just kind of was like about it, and then just kind of got right back up on my horse and decided what we were going to do next. Well, looking at the calendar, unfortunately for us, we were going to be out of town for October and November during my fertile time. So as far as doing an IUI, our last IUI in insurance coverage, we can't, not at least till December. So and I'm not decided on that. I'm not decided on whether I want to do an IUI or if I want to do if I want to save those medicines and do an IVF. You know, we still haven't sold our house. It would be a huge financial undertaking for us to do it before then. So, you know, the house has been on the market for over a year and it really sucks. I'm really sick of that. But there's nothing I can do about it at this point. It's just got to sell. So if you've got your big prayer boots on, please pull them up really high and hard and say some prayers that our house will sell now. I'm so tired of this. Yeah, the money we could be using for fertility treatments is going to keep that house on the market right now. We pour about $10,000 a year just to maintain it and to keep the insurance up on it, property taxes and things like that. And we have no one living in it, so it's very hard. So it's really kind of put us in a bind. But anyway, so we've got to decide what we're going to do next. And so for the time being, I'm working on weight loss. I've started a high protein, low carb, low fat diet. I've already lost 7 pounds, and that included being off my diet for the weekend, this past weekend, when we were out of town. We went for a quick, you know, we have annual passes to Disney World, so we went down for the Halloween party. Unfortunately, my husband has pneumonia, and he got sick while we were there, and we wound up coming home. We were coming home Sunday midday, but we went on and came home real early Sunday morning so that he could get to the doctor. He's got walking pneumonia and some other infections in this region. So he wasn't up to par for us trying when we were in Orlando. And I did take a Clear Blue. I bought some Clear Blue digital ovulations. I thought, well, let's try those because I'd only done them like one other month. And I tried them, and I went from, and I was very pleased. I went from no fertility to high to peak pretty quickly, which was great. But the timing was awful between him being sick and us being out of town. It wouldn't have been a big deal being out of town, but him being sick that was a no-go. He was awfully sick, and he's still awfully sick. He actually just went back to the doctor today, and he still has pneumonia, and they've added breathing treatments. And so we're just trying to get him well. And the good news is we're going back to Disney for our last trip of the year, probably on our annual passes, because we're tapped out on our extra free money. then but we're going for the week before Thanksgiving, so and that does fall exactly a month from this last trip, which means I will probably be fertile down there. So who knows, if I brought home a miracle souvenir, that would be just like amazing, but I'm not counting on it. But anyway, hopefully he'll be well enough to try down there. So that puts us December back with the doctor, and I really don't know at this point where we're going to go, but I'm focusing really hard on my weight loss. I'm doing mini goals like I did, you know, when I started it. It was like 2 weeks before we left for this weekend trip, and my goal was to do it really well till we went, and then to get right back on it when I got back and stay on it until we go to Disney in in November. And then when we get home, stay on it hard until Christmas and have a few days off then, and then be back on it. And you know, I feel like I do better with those little small goals, and so far so good. Like I said, 7 pounds in 3 weeks is really great. Excuse me. So if you want more information on the specific dieting I'm doing, leave me a comment, because it's really an interesting concept that I've kind of I have a friend that's doing it, and it's through a local business here, but I'm not actually going to the business and paying. I'm just using the plan that she gave me. So I'd be glad to share that information with you. I feel like it works really well for me, and I think the low carb thing probably is definitely something that could help me with fertility, because I know people do the low amylose diet and things like that, and it definitely helps. So I'm hopeful that in worst case, I lose some weight before we start back treatments in December or January. So anyway, again, I apologize for not updating you as soon as I found out it was a negative, but K2 started into his shows for Beauty and the Beast. He had a week of performances. It was crazy. I was a stage mom, and it was like nuts. It was crazy. I don't even know how to explain it. Anyway, he did great on his performances. For those who saw the little clip I posted on my Facebook, he did amazing. A real quick story I told y'all when I posted the video was that I would tell you the funny, well, it's not funny, it was kind of a scary story about what happened to him. He has the big solo, Gaston is the name of the song, where he sings how great Gaston is, because he's LeFou. And in the beginning of the song, he jumps up into Gaston's, well, right before the song starts, he jumps up into Gaston's arms, and Gaston drops him. They've rehearsed it a million times and done fabulous. And by fluke, the first evening performance, they did school performances and did fine, but the first evening performance for the public Friday night of his shows, Gaston accidentally dropped him. He usually drops, he like carries him where he's like got his head up and his butt down so that he kind of lands on his bahonkus, but he just, I guess in the crazy adrenaline of it all, he dropped him incorrectly, and K2 landed on his head. I didn't see it because I was like 10 rows back, but when he stood up and I saw his face, I thought he was sick. He went white as a ghost, and by some miracle, he finished the song. But about 2 verses in the song, the word got back to me that he had actually hit his head, and so I went in backstage and was waiting on him when he got done. They had a doctor check him out. He did not have a concussion. It was certainly hard enough to have caused a concussion, but he did fine. He told me, he said he almost stopped during the song. He said his head was spinning and his legs were weak, and he didn't know if he was going to be able to make it, and he almost stopped and said, please help me, to somebody. But then he said, this is so funny, this is K2, he said, but then I thought, Mom, the show must go on. And so he was a trooper, and I think that's like the sign of a true performer, when you can do things like that. When you know you want to cry and go to mama and you hurt and you don't, you do what's right and you keep going. That's just, I was very proud of him. We kept an eye on him for a while, and he seemed to do really fine, and the director even offered to stop doing the drop, and he said, nope, I want to do it. That's one of the funniest parts in the show, and we're going to do it. And so he did. So the show turned out great. He did a great job, and he was kind of sad when it was over. But anyway, that's just an aside. That was the reason why the update never got done. because we did the show and then we went to Disney this past weekend, and it's just been crazy. But I do want to thank everybody for all the wonderful warm wishes and prayers for my IUI. Unfortunately, it didn't take, but I do appreciate it, and I will update you as soon as I know more. But for now, this is kind of where we're going. I'm still mulling through and considering doing the free IVF sweepstakes that my clinic is doing. I go back and forth on it. It's hard to put yourself out there to your friends on your regular Facebook and to put all that out there, especially being a ministry family. It just kind of opens you and makes you vulnerable. And I know I've got to make a decision like this weekend. So say a prayer for me. And I just don't know. That I checked the numbers. The girl that's winning right now has almost she does. She has like 9,500 likes on her picture. I can't fathom getting 10,000 people to like that picture for me. I don't know. It would take some huge promotion. That I have my pitiful channel is only like 400 and something subscribers, and my videos usually don't get but about 150 views. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm praying about it. So if you have any words of wisdom there, please share them with me too. But anyway, it was great to do a little update with y'all. I've missed y'all, and I promise I've been thinking of you. And again, thank you for everything. And we will talk to you as soon as I know more. Y'all have a blessed Halloween. Is coming up tomorrow, and have a great November. Hopefully I'll update you sometime either at the end of November or beginning of December when I know more about what's going on. Love you guys, and have a great day. Bye.